Baby, if you are not ready for this emotional roller coaster, whether it's a high key or it's a little bit of a tears will fall, child, let me tell you something. It's going to be right up your alley. We're Here season 2 is back. They start off where they left. Ooh, they should call this one just We're Back. Let's go ahead and start this up, babies. Artemis, cue my theme music.
Listen. Yeah. Yes, God. Get that out of there.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Matty Rants. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Do me a favor, hit that like button, pow, share, and subscribe. Become a part of my Rant Pack family. I appreciate you for being here. If you'd like to catch me on my other social media links, hit that Linktree link in the description. Grab a branch, grab some fruit, chew. Find me on Twitter at @MattyRants and on all other social media pages at MattyRants. You already know I have podcasts on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on the Stereo app, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm partnered with the Airtime app for Drag Race Everything on Tuesdays, and then Drag Race Trivia and Hot Topics on Thursdays, where you can win some money, honey, for knowing your drag race, okay? Now, go ahead and start this review. I had a good time with this episode. I'm glad that they're playing off of things I loved with the first season, especially with the way the show is filmed. I love the transition with the scenes, with the music. The show still holds the same magic it did the first season. So I'm glad to report, if you're like, well, what's season 2 like? So far, so damn good. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. I forgot this woman's name, but I want to have this conversation before we get into this episode. But the woman who owned the plantation that was taken, mind you, it was a plantation where slaves were, right? But this black woman now owns this property where once white people had owned black people. The significance of 3 drag queens sitting on that property, okay? Eureka, you're there, I got that. But when I'm talking about Bob and like Shangela sitting there with this woman drinking tea, you know, still even all the full picture of it all. Woo! And then to have that show also on the property too, that's amazing. That was huge. I hope everybody who was watching this felt that when, of course, they gave light to it. Because when I say this bitch over here was like, I'm just watching it, just, okay? The outfits that they wore to tea, my God, almighty in heaven. Eureka, this dress was, I hate orange, but God, this was, it was so fabulous. It's rich, rich. Shangela, I thought Jackie Washington had entered your body with that outfit, mama. I've said, where's her mirror? Look at me. That's a Jackie's Back reference. Shangela looked fabulous. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Bob, that color forever for you, okay? That color forever. Ooh. It was that mint green. It gave me a little peachy pink underneath. And the giant pick with the fro. When it's right, it's right. So we're back in Spartanburg, South Carolina. If you remember from season 1, it ended abruptly because of COVID. This also played into the 3 people who they were going to visit and where they were in 2020 compared to 2021 after the quarantine. So it's like, okay, this is interesting. We have a full story here. 13-month break in time, okay, where things change for a lot of them. We know Bob, Shangela, and Eureka get somebody to work with in these small towns that we find out a little something about them. We get their story. We sort of understand where they're coming from. They may be coming from a broken place. Someone who's also maybe trying to understand a family member who may have been gay and didn't have the chance to, or does have the chance. It could be somebody who just needs to express themselves. Many reasons, but we find out about these people who we can relate to through some of our favorite folks from Drag Race now on this program, right? So let's start with Eureka first and then head down the line when it comes to who they were working with. So Eureka was working with Noah, who is going to be Mistress Bobo Maxwell later, okay, for the stage name. And Noah's interesting. Whoo, that was a lot. The progression as far as who Noah was in 2020 and who they are now. And when Eureka met them, and Eureka was asking for pronouns, and of course Eureka was going over who they were, and it was explained like, okay, like, feel free, I'm here to help you be open. You know what I mean? That's Eureka's helpfulness right there. I'm like, you can be comfortable around me. They describe themselves as he, but questioning. They went to a shop, tried on dresses. Eureka made that baby parade around, get a little sachet in there, feel comfortable, be yourself, it's okay. And Noah was just going through it. It was so sad to see. My heart broke for that baby. But when the time jump happened to 2021, and we see Noah, sis, strutting down that street, getting a little pull, I was like, ah! Noah identifies as non-binary, non-cisgender. I love that your friend helped you too. Your good sis, she was beautiful, by the way. Nadia helping them, become okay with themselves. And it just was a completely different person. And it was so beautiful to see that. We're here. I'm going to tell you this. Y'all got to catch that moment. I said, okay, show. There it is. And Noah just fully breathing in the essence of themselves. You could tell this work still to be done, but where they are at now, whole new person. And I love that for them. I loved it. But that story was really, really great. Then we get to Bob with Faith, who is going to be Miss Big Mama of the House of Big Mama. I love you, Faith. I'm going to say this right now. I feel like watching this episode, I know you. And shout out to your baby, Shaniqua. Hey, Shaniqua. I love you, honey, too. I was really feeling Faith's story, and, she's a black female tattoo artist. There's not that many, period, around like that in her area where she's at. And so she's doing big things there. But she's also coming to terms with her sexuality and having to be open around her family and how her family feels about it. And of course, between 2020 and 2021, you could definitely see, and Bob, even mentioned this while studying and talking to Faith, that she was uncomfortable still. And there was a sense of doubt in who they were or how they were presenting themselves in their fullness of being a lesbian woman, right? So 2021, Mama has moved in with Shaniqua. It's a beautiful thing. That house looked like it smelled good. I know it smelled good. It looked fabulous. I could feel nothing but good energy. And then there was a scene where we get to an ice cream shop and the family's around now. It's like, okay. And Faith's mother's there. And, Bob asked the question in reference to, coming out and how did you feel and where it was. And her mother joked with her just a little bit, but it was also a tad bit uncomfortable because I know her mom is still coming to terms with it. I know my father is still coming to terms with me. You understand what I'm saying? I've been out for a while, over a decade, if you will, and he's still coming to terms with it. And it's just something a parent's going to have to deal with and understand about their child. They're always going to love them, but there's something about the idea of what a parent feels their child should be, who they should be, where they should go, what they should do. It was relatable, but I also was like Bob sitting there like, I still see that, but I know with Faith and her mother, their relationship's on a much better scale that we could tell. I hope that's still growing and progressing, and that Shaniqua is involved in the full family. That's what I gathered from that situation here. But I love their story. I love Faith's story. I loved her story with Shaniqua. I'm glad Bob got her. Bob was a really good mentor in that situation and talking to her, getting her out of her comfort zone. And baby, when I say once she got into Big Mama, we're going to talk about these performances in a minute. I knew she was going to be all right. Let's get on over to Shangela and Olin. I'm going to try not to cry because this is where I was boo-hoo-hooing. With Olin and Pat and their story, that was relatable AF. All right. So Olin is your straight-laced, straight guy here in this South Carolina place. Okay. Here in South Carolina, he's a husband. He's a father, very much a man's man, macho, masculine, all that. Right. And then you got his older brother, Pat, who is a famous drag queen in the Southern Belt where they're from. They're complete opposites, but they're brothers and they love each other. And so Olin signed up for this for Pat, but Olin didn't want to do it because of the town where they live and how people would perceive him, and may also it may rub into his son's life. You know what I'm saying? Where his son's still 11 and he's a young man growing up, and you know how kids can be, and how you already know how people could be, just cruel little bastards, right? So Olin's nervousness comes with it's truth. There's truth to it. It's like, okay, I understand. Because I grew up, baby, Houston, Texas, raised. Families from Bama, Alabama. The girls need to know, okay? Like, I know. I understand completely. Olin wanting to do this with Pat was a beautiful thing, especially because of how hard it is sometimes for people to get out of their comfort zones in order to just show some love. Like, I felt that energy, especially with the conversation of the coming out story with Pat. And it rang a bell with me. I'm trying not to cry. Calm it down, Matt. Because when I came out, it was like that too with my brother. And the way that felt and how horrible the feeling it was having that conversation with him, and me not even wanting to say it, because there was always those moments where people were asking him what was my sexuality or what is Matthew and this, that, and the other, and he would say no as a way of protecting me because he knew the reasons they were asking weren't for good. I was close. I was close. Me and my brother still have our own stuff that we work on, but I love him dearly, and I won't ever stop loving him. So seeing Olin and Pat, that touched my soul, man, because you have one family, and sometimes you lose that family because of conflict, and it's hard sometimes to come back together and realize the bigger picture in things, and that's love. And so seeing Olin get out of his comfort zone for Pat was a beautiful thing, and Pat's story, and I appreciate that one. Shangela, you were really great during Olin and Pat's story. Honestly, you were really great. You were so comforting and kind and calm, and I just really loved that. So the basis of all these three, I felt, was a beautiful story for all of them, and the way they found themselves or became comfortable. It was almost about these three that were just solely just could not be okay for different, they were uncomfortable for different reasons, but blossomed and opened up later. Let's get to these performances, darling. Now, with the shows that they had there on the property of that plantation owned by our good sis that we talked about earlier here, I loved each and every performance. And it was also nice to see Eureka's family come up into the gig and perform with her. And they were cutting the fuck up. Mama, sister, and daughter. I said, oh, you trying to do Generations. Generations, Eureka. It was a great opener for the show. I hated those Tina Burner colors. I hated them. Eureka, we talked about this. Did you see the season? No, you might have been filming All Stars when it happened. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But it was nice for her to do the intro for the show. Then the first performance went to Faith as Big Mama, right? Bob and her did this beautiful number where Bob was watering her and helping her grow in this, grand reveal of her being this flower and just opening up. And of course, bringing Shaniqua on the stage and sort of serenading her via lip sync. It was a beautiful moment of her professing her love to her baby, as well as her family seeing her with all of those people. Bravo. Bravo. Then we get on over to Noah. Over here is Mistress Bobo Maxwell. Eureka, you just wanted to scare the folks, huh, baby? You said dominatrix indeed. It started off real clean, real Dita Ritz season 4. I like to cook pie. Very that. And then it turned into, oh my goodness, there's pup play happening up here, child. You got reveals. The wig reveal was it. I was here for the wig reveal. Eureka's titties is out with a little tassely wass. The little baby had to start sucking on the tassel. I said, oh my God, they about to give Olin's dad a... they about to take him out. They about to take Granddaddy out. I love the performance, and I love their words afterwards. Noah was just... Girl, I looked at myself in the mirror. I know who this bitch is. I said, I know that's right, sis. I know that's right. Go on, baby. I was very much here for that. Then we get on over to Olin and Shangela and Pat's performance. Honestly, that was my favorite one. Personally. I thought that was a great performance. They gave that very 80s vibe. Really good show. That was a really, really good number. Olin was doing a good job, too. Did you catch that? I said, Olin was giving. A couple times, he was like, okay, nah, I'm just going to throw. That's fine. But I was like, Olin's giving. I saw the fantasy. I saw it. And Pat was serving it down with the guitar. Shangela, of course, did good. The conversation at the end is where my heart just really just pulled together. And that's when Olin was talking about, when Pat came out and how it made Olin feel and where they were at now, and that brotherly love and their tears on stage like that. That's a big deal. Olin don't give me crier. So when I saw those tears, I was full of emotion. I'm not going to cry again, Lord Jesus. I'm not. But when the father was there to see his sons, both two different people, doing this show to show support for the other, that's deep. That's deep. And, you know, the dad, I could see him, you know, hey, that's my son. I love him. But he's I could still see he's in his ways, which is fine. That's how he feels. That's how he feels. You know, that's him. But also to be there in that moment to celebrate his children. That was chef's kiss. Yeah, but patio furniture, go on, sister. I was here for you. And Olin's name was Whole Lot of Furniture. I love it. Patio, whole lot of. My final thoughts on this episode, y'all. We're Here is back. I hope they continue to have more seasons. It's already starting off really, really good. I hope there's a lot of episodes. I wish I was involved with this show. I love it so much. It gives me life. That good energy. I like to talk about stuff like this. Get deep with people, okay? And also feel good afterwards and throw a show. I love it. I love it. Y'all need to tune into this program. It's on HBO Max. Get your subscription going on here on Tuesday nights. Catch new episodes. Tuning in, it's your boy Matty Rants. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time for more reviews. Ta-ta. Artemis.